Hi everyone, it's Kaz and I'm back. It's the 23rd of May and I think this is part 4. Oh, I know, I talk a lot. I wanted to thank everybody for their comments and questions and the views. It seems like there's quite a few people out there that are watching, so it's really good to see. Thank you. And yeah, I'll try and write back to everybody, or I will write back to everybody. So yeah, please write, because I appreciate that and I enjoy, you know, part of me being here is to meet people, and yeah, so that's really good. Okay, I was watching back one of my videos and there was something that I wanted to clarify about something I said, and that was when I mentioned that I used to work for the MS Society back in 2002. And I also said in the same video that I really know nothing about this disease. Little bit of an exaggeration, I do know a little bit, but I wanted to clarify that my role at the MS Society, I started off as a student and then from there got a job, but it was more of an admin role, so I wasn't actually working one-on-one with clients. Yeah, so I just want to make that clear for any of you out there that are thinking, oh my gosh, what kind of a service are they running? This girl doesn't know anything. It wasn't that sort of a role, and yeah, I did know a little bit, but I guess 10 years after the fact, when you leave, you do forget, especially when it happens to you. And yeah, but I do remember working there and being really frightened that I would get it. It's just amazing to think back on that time, and now I actually do have it. Like, I don't know if I'll ever get my head around that. But back to the story, I think we left off. Oh, there was another thing I forgot to mention. Whoops. Way back when I was getting the carpal tunnel investigated, and that was around August, September of last year, and that came back clear. When it did come back clear, they decided to investigate a little bit further, and what they said was, we'll send you off for an ultrasound of your neck, because apparently, I don't know, you can have a pinched nerve or something. But I went along anyway and I had that done, and when the results came back for that, I saw the neuro again, and that was when I said to him, there were symptoms I forgot to tell you about. I'm skipping letters in my handwriting, and now my toes starting to tingle. I really want to have a brain MRI. And I got the results of the ultrasound and they come back clear as well, so there was no constriction in any of my I don't know, veins or whatever it may have been. So it didn't really explain what was going on for me. So he agreed to write me a referral for a brain MRI, and I don't know if by this point he thought that I was paranoid or that I might have been, I don't know, some sort of drama queen, but he listened and he gave me the referral. Maybe I thought I was starting to sound like a drama queen, I don't know, but I just started to realise things were not right. And yeah, so that was organised for the 24th of December, which was Christmas Eve. Lovely. So there was a bit of a wait for that, because it was around October time, so it was a good 2.5 month wait, but that was okay. It was on the boil and happening, and I was glad for that. So I was going to put on a timer like Irish Bear, but I've forgotten. Oh well. So yeah, so I went along like I said in the last video, and Dad passed away on the 3rd of December at home, and hopefully I can talk about that without getting as upset as I did last video. I had a few days break, so hopefully I can get through it better. But the funeral was the 9th of December, so we had a week, maybe 8 days to plan and organise the funeral, and I took a lot of that on. I have a half brother and sister who were fantastic, but they lived a bit further away and Mum didn't drive, so I took on a lot of the things that needed to be done, like liaising with the priest and the catering, and you know, making sure the people who put the slideshow together knew what they were doing, and I had to get the photos ready, so I was up every night, and I must have scanned about 500 photos, because I was up till 5:30 in the morning or 4 a.m. every night. And I lived on chocolate, I lived on caffeine, I wasn't eating properly. So I was losing a dramatic amount of weight. There were people at work, well, everyone at work was getting quite worried about me, because I was normally a curvy 63 kilo, but I kept dropping weight, and the weight started to come off around the time the symptoms started. So looking back, I realised the weight loss was a symptom. And yeah, it was the stress as well, but I've never lost the amount of weight that I did in my life, because by the time I made it to hospital to have all my big tests and things, I was 48 kilo. And I had chest bones sticking out. Very scary for someone who's never ever dropped below 57 kilos. So people were starting to be concerned about me losing weight at work. Everywhere I went, people were asking me, "You okay? You eating? What are you having for lunch?" You know. But I actually, you know, by the time Dad passed, I wasn't eating properly at all, and I wasn't at work by that stage. So I lived and breathed the funeral for that week, preparing that. And then the funeral came around on the 9th of December, and it went beautifully. I was really, really pleased with how things went, because I'm a bit of a control freak and I like to kind of get things right. And so it was really important to me that it went off the way it did, and it was a really nice, beautiful funeral. And so after the burial, we went back to Mum's place, and I can remember saying to Mum, I had a headache all afternoon, and I never ever get headaches, like never. But I kind of thought, well, there's nothing unusual about that. You know, it's been a horrible week, and yeah, I've had a headache, it's okay. But I said to Mum, I need to go home, have a sleep for a couple of hours, and I'll come back for dinner and we'll eat together. So I did that,